Good morning, everybody. First, I would like to thank Mr. Ravi Gupta for having invited me here to share my few thoughts and experiences. My association with Elets has been for the last 4 years. When I was handling both the health for a couple of years, I was handling COVID and then education. So, thanks for having me here, and it's nice to be here. Uh, I know most of you who have come here are from either the private sector or the edtech companies or universities and all. You have a very particular set of the clientele to cater to, and also different kinds of products that or services that you want to be basically uh, giving to the educational institutions and organizations. My talk here today will be slightly different in the sense that I just wanted all of you to understand that there is a big animal out there called the government sector in education. It's actually quite big. Across the world, if you can see, is a government which takes care of the most of the education of the kids. The private sector caters to a very small niche area, but most of us forget that the government sector also has the large mandate to do, and also there's a large market out also there for different products and services. But it's difficult to crack that part because government being government is very hierarchical, very bureaucratic. I accept many times quite frustrating also. But here today I wanted to present to you a different case uh, that governments can also be very proactive. Governments can also be very visionary. Governments can look forward into the future, try to build the skills of the people. All of you know that India is a vast country. We are the biggest country today, and the kind of children in the age group where they go to schools is the highest in the world. China has started decelerating. We are still there. That age group is there. That is going to be the biggest demographic group that we have. A lot of people say that that's a demographic dividend, but I have a different argument. Can you imagine the large number of engineers who graduate from engineering institutions in our country can't do basic coding? Engineering graduates from sectors like IT and computer science engineer can't do basic coding. They can't. And they settle for some quite low paying jobs and all, do clerical work and do some kind of low tech kind of a work. This is not going to be a demographic dividend for India if we don't address that issue. You need to have, we have the numbers, we have the people. Most countries don't have the people because of populations are reducing. We have the numbers, but we won't get the demographic dividend unless we train these kids to be ready for the future. That point, I think, I am keeping it on the table for everybody to understand. Policymakers, as well as the consultants, the edtech companies, and other people who are involved in the education sector. For India as a particular, if we don't handle that, we are going to have a really bad situation where you have large unemployed people. And you know what happens in a democratic country where people can voice what they want to say. They are there, they don't get a job. You can just imagine what is going to be the future. So we need to be very careful about that. Having said that, so it's an opportunity for us. We need to look at it as an opportunity that how we can do this. So before getting into what we are doing, I just want most of you in the room, if I say government school in typically in India, what kind of a image that you get? Children, bad classrooms, no furniture, people sitting on the floor. You don't have a proper classroom environment. Dirty toilets, no proper drinking water. It's like the school is not something a kid really wishes or wants to go to a school. That is the image we get of a government school. But it's not like that. So if we really do something, if we put our hearts and minds in it, we can do that. I'm going to show you how in the last 4 years and moving forward in the next 2 years in one province of this Indian Republic. I come from a province called Andhra Pradesh. It's a fairly mid-size for India, but for many other countries, it's almost like the size of a country or two countries put together. We are a population of around 5 crores, 50 million. 50 million is a fairly decent size for a European country. It's a big country. 50 million is the population of that province. In the last 3 years and moving forward in the next 2 years, we are investing close to $2.5 billion in only improving the infrastructure in schools. That's a big investment. We wanted our schools to be places where kids can go and do it. And can you imagine a situation in which all my government schools, we actually, last week itself, we signed an agreement with International Baccalaureate that all my schools will be affiliated to IB. We started the process this year. By 2035, all the government schools in the province will be affiliated to IB. That's a huge step. You know IB, what kind of infrastructure is required, what kind of manpower is required, what kind of thought process is required, taking it to that level. And all my kids are getting trained by Princeton ETS on English proficiency, so that when they go out into the market, they can go out for higher education anywhere in the world and get picked up by good universities and become global citizens. And we already started a process in which all our curriculum, we are doing away with the old kind of curriculums. And what we have started is called future skills. We are starting with 2035 as a benchmark. What would be the job market in 2035? Will a normal accountant or a sales representative or a normal office person would have a job? I really don't think so. With the kind of AI that is coming in, with the kind of technology that is coming in, these jobs are gone. I think even a very typical job like lawyer and even a software engineer job is at heavy risk. You need to get those future skills like machine learning, robotics, AI, all these things have to be taught to the kids so that when they go out into the market, they are able to rule the world. So we started that process where this year itself we started from. I'm happy to inform that from this academic year of July, all my kids in grade 8 will start a subject called Future Skills subject, which has all these elements built in, hands-on training. They will be able to code, they will be able to learn all these skills, including things like business accounting, financial literacy, and then also basic skills for them to survive in the job market in the future, so that they don't become misfits in the society. Because you study something and at the end of 10 years, you find that your skill is no longer relevant because there is no market for it. That job has been consumed by AI. So you don't have that job. You studied 10 years, you graduate, and then you find that there is no market. So we are looking from 2035 and backwards and doing this future skills. And then today it's not an issue of not availability of technology. We understand today that it's not non-availability, it's too much of availability of technology is an issue. So we have a process in which we collate, we crystallize and make it so easy for kids to both consume content as well as have the technologies which are suited, relevant, and not expose kids to all kinds of things available on the internet. That's a process that we are doing. So I'll take you through this small presentation. At the end of the presentation, I think, can you go to the next? Yeah. So I'll just briefly, 7-8 minutes, I'll tell you what we have done in terms of this thing. So I'll start with physical infrastructure. As I said, government schools, if you don't have good infrastructure, there is not a good environment where the teachers and students can basically spend good time. Imagine a kid spend 6 to 7 hours in a school. The environment is not good, it is not attractive and all. It's like you're only forcing a kid to go to school, and the learning outcomes definitely will be bad. Similarly with teachers, in government school teachers, if teachers go to a school where the physical environment is bad, I think they will not be able to deliver. No human being can work in an environment which is debilitating and is creating a lot of stress and demotivating. So I'll quickly take you through that. Yeah. I'm just giving a profile. You can understand, as I said, that we have 26 districts, 74 divisions, clusters. Imagine I have 300,000 teachers. 300,000 teachers, and the number of students that I have is almost like, imagine the numbers, 71 lakhs, like 7 million kids that we need to teach every day and take care of them. Can you show the other presentation? There's one more presentation. The other presentation. While I load that, just one happy news I want to share was that last 2 years I had 2 lakh kids leaving private schools and coming and joining government schools. This just doesn't happen normally in any government sector, where you have 200,000 students quitting a private school and joining a government school. So why this happens is that in the private sector also there are a large number of schools which are of not of good quality. But since you don't have a choice, you go there. But if government can, create another presentation. If there is a choice and access is provided, and it makes students really engaged, the kids can always come back to a government school. This happens across the world. I think in the Western countries, I think 90 to 95% of the kids are basically catered to in a public institutions. Very elite, very people with a lot of resources only go to a private school in most of the countries. This is the case in most of the countries. Only in India we had this situation where, So we call it a school transformation. So basically, our idea was that in a span of 3 to 4 years, we convert all the schools to a standard where they become really good. Next. What do we do? We take up schools. What we do is that there are certain things we do. We basically ensure that there are good toilets, revamp the toilets. And all of us know that there is a lot of research which says that you don't have a good toilet in government schools, the girl children are going to drop out of school. This has been well established. That we are trying to address. Good drinking water, so that they don't get any kind of health problems. So dropout is less, and then we take up repairs. We do electrification, tube lights, fans, kitchen sheds, painting to the entire campus in a very attractive way. And then we do all the compound walls for security. We put new green chalkboards. We do furniture. We do physical infrastructure in terms of new classrooms, labs, libraries, and all. And then digital education. So I'll come to the digital education when I tell about, because a lot of things we have done. In fact, I can proudly claim that the kind of digitization that we have done in government sector in our government school is far higher than any private sector that has done, because I know the numbers, because the entire country, what kind of digitization they have done in the 3 years, our own province has done it in the last 2 years. That's the kind of infrastructure that we have put in. We call it Nadu, Nedu. In Telugu, Nadu means, past, Nedu means today. What is past and what is today? That's the program's name. So since we can't do everything at one day, we divided it into 3 phases. The total investment is, what is 16,450 crores, more than $2 billion. And then to enable the schools to have a good infrastructure. How we do it? We don't do this entire program. It's not something driven from my office that, I drive down, I say that you do this and all. My task is to just give them the hand holding, but it is the community, it is the school management, the teachers, the community, the local population who actually do this work. We provide the funds. We also give them very good, inputs like, we procure everything from the factory directly and supply it to them so that, they use the best of material. They don't compromise on the kind of material they use. And then everything is standardized. So if there is a school, depending on the strength, every facility is standardized. These are the number of schools, that 45,000 schools we are handling and spending around 16,000 crores. We divided into 3 phases because we can't do everything at one go. The first phase is completed. The second phase is currently going on. We expect to complete this in this fiscal in the next 3 months, and the third will be taken up post the financial year and the next financial year. And the next question comes in government sector. Governments are good at spending money. How about maintaining them? We don't have budgets for maintaining. Most state governments, they don't spend money on maintaining. This is a unique program in which we are providing this kind of money to every school. Every year, we pump in money to keep the infrastructure, whatever we have created, in good condition. This generally in government sector, we don't do that. Private sectors actually do that. We do that. So we take care of this, and this is the kind of money in different areas that we have done. And when we are doing the phase 2, this is the kind of expenditure that we are doing. And now I come to digital infrastructure. So total together in all these schools together, for grade 6 and above, we have got around 60,000 classrooms. Out of these 60,000 classrooms till date, 46,000 classrooms we have put what is called integrated flat panels. So where you can actually interact with the flat panel, a 65-inch, 75-inch flat panel. The kids, the teachers can interact with the panel. A lot of programs are loaded in it, so that teaching becomes very interactive. So till date we have put 46,000, and in the next 20 days we're going to complete this 59,000. The number 59,000 looks like a smaller number, but entire country, entire India, I think the total number of flat panels, including government sector, private sector, together is less than 1 lakh. Entire government, private, together is less than 1 lakh. We are doing 60,000 out of that. So, in fact, companies like Samsung, Acer, they had to put up special facilities in the state, in the country, to actually manufacture these panels, because it's a new market that we have created. And then for all the kids in the primary sections, we give smart TVs. Those also you can see those big numbers that we have put in place. Yeah. Now I'll just show you some photographs how we do this. The left side is the same school. The same school. How we have transformed that school to this, and how this school is transformed to that. The kind of buildings that we have transformed, infrastructure we have transferred. So this is a typical government school in India, where not only my state, wherever you go, this used to be there. This is how we have converted. Then this is how we have converted. We take care of the schools, repairs, the electrification part, the furniture part, some attractive colors that we keep in the classrooms. Then, we make it a little more attractive for the kids. Then we started these English labs where the interactive panels and the content is loaded that they can use. So we do a painting. This is one major component where kids get attracted. It's very lively for the kids to come. And then because in India we also serve the lunch to kids and all. So we need kitchens, safe kitchens where the food is prepared and all. So most of you from India would realize generally how these kitchen sheds are there if you had gone to schools. So they're pretty bad shape. So this is how we are doing it. Yeah. So this is the kind of physical infrastructure that we have put in. So in terms of other things, I think I have another session in the in the school part. So that we have done. So if there is some takeaway from this is that there is a large government, uh, program, and the numbers are huge. There is a huge potential available there, and I think it's vastly untapped potential. That can be, one takeaway from this. And it's not that governments will not invest in physical infrastructure. It's not that government will not invest in IT infrastructure. It's not that they will not invest in content. The only thing is that today the issue of plenty. There's too much out there available in the market. How governments or the government sectors should basically pick and do the what is best for the state or the province, because education in India is not a federal subject. It's a provincial subject. So the provinces have to take care of it. So the provinces do this. So there's a huge potential available for the country to train our kids and make them, ready for the future. So if you have any questions or queries, I think I'm willing to take those questions. Yes, please. Yes, sir, please.
I heard you mentioning that you want to start IB in all your schools. With no offense to you, sir, even the Delhi government tried it and it failed. Private schools are trying it. It's not easy. IB is a beautiful curriculum, but very difficult to pull through and sustain. Wouldn't it be a better idea, since you have this vision for the children of your state, to work with the curriculum, pulling out from the Cambridge and IB curriculum, the best that they have, and reframe your curriculum? Your thoughts on that?
Actually, when we decided we wanted to go with IB, it was not something we have done, like a day or two. There were 2 years, long thought process, a lot of educational consultants, educationists, teachers, students, policymakers, and even our, legislatures. Everybody were involved in the process. This was a very conscious process. Yes, it's difficult. Everything is difficult in life. So, but if we have taken up the challenge, I'm hopeful that we will do the kind of the results that we have already got. As I said, I am hopeful that we should be able to pull, and we are not doing it overnight. We're starting slowly. I said we will do this by 2035. We have an horizon of 11 years to work on, because in education you can't do things overnight, particularly not in curriculum and content. So 11 years is a decent time for us to, I think, just pull this off. So let's hope for the best. Yes, ma'am. Mhm. Okay. The Tirumala school in Tirupati? Okay, yes.
Tirumala school is run by us. And I must tell that the Andhra government has done tremendous work with education in Andhra schools. I really like to appreciate you and for all the efforts that everybody has put in. I only say this because I'm just going to add value to what you said by saying that children have this aspirational. And that's what you're trying to create. I can see that very well. Our attendance went more than 600% high. Regular attendance happened. And above everything else, every child, now there are 580 children when there were only 95 a year back. So in 1 year, there are 590 children. All of them speak English. They go across the state winning competitions. So I truly believe that this is a beginning. I'm not sure whether IB works or not work, but as Sir rightly said, what we are working with is the state government syllabi, but upgrading their levels of thinking, the levels of questioning, so that they become thinkers. That's what we are trying. We are trying to create more of scientists in the school, but we are maintaining the Andhra thing. I'd really like to appreciate the efforts that Andhra government has done. Truly appreciate that.
Thank you, ma'am. This is the kind of the input that motivates us to do better. For information, our average attendance in government schools of the kids is always more than 85%. So we track each child, why a child is absent, why is not coming. We go to their homes and all, ensure that we have a proper IT backbone, that a kid doesn't come to a school today, a kid doesn't come to school, all of us get to know. So that's the kind of IT infrastructure that we have. The parents also get to know, we also get to know. It's not that something goes unnoticed and all. Yes, that English medium again, we're training all our kids to speak in English. Everybody, good English. Thank you.